Thank you for letting us be ourselves. So don't mind me if I repeat myself. These simple lines be good for your health. Gee whiz, people bear witness. Live love life like you just don't care. 5,000 leaders never scared. Bring the noise is the moment they fear. Get up, still a beautiful idea. Revolution means change, don't look at me strange. So get up and show no fear. Get up if y'all really care. Get up, still a beautiful idea. Thank you for letting us be ourselves.
Good evening everyone and welcome to the final round of the World Series Virtual Racing's BTCC. The basically the first season of 2014 will be after this race, so we'll just take a quick break before we resume it later on this month. By the way, let me introduce myself. My name is Ron Squire and I'm joined by Mr. Max Spooner. Say hello, Max.
Hi there, how are you?
I'm fine. Okay, so this is the basically, I think this is maybe the only night race on the calendar this year. So by the way, before we carry on, I'd just like to say Max is joining me tonight because he's not racing tonight due to a little bit of a sort of a slight arm injury. But though he is he's on the mend. I basically told him to relax and basically commentate with me tonight. So you okay with that, Max?
Yeah, it was just training too hard and lifting the weights they were too heavy, and I pulled a muscle, I think. But important thing for me is to just make sure that I am fit for the endurance round coming up on the 4th of April, as well as the main racing season later on in the year.
Yeah, so let's wish Max Spooner a wishful recovery, and yeah, so let's wish him a good recovery. Now let's get to practice at the moment. We're currently on board with Mr. Joshua Anderson, who is currently just going into the cut-off from the main circuit onto the Indy car circuit once again back onto the main circuit on the last corner. Now this is the Indy layout, I should point out, which is a much more shorter version of the Grand Prix layout, which basically has different kind of corners. Now he's going into the first corner now. He's gone a little bit wide there before he goes up into the Druid's hairpin, which is basically maybe the most toughest corner on the course. But he's keeping it together very smoothly as he goes down into turn 3. It's a left-hander, but he's gone very wide there, and he can soon recover. Now he's gone a little bit wide there, and basically he's testing out a new car, a new livery, straight from his Ford, straight from a different than we did from the Ford Focus, and he's currently in front of none other than Chris English, the reigning champion so far. Let's have a look at who is leading the practice session at the moment. Jan Titz is leading at the moment, ahead of Kevin Mass. Chris English, who's just gone a little bit off there, oh dear. Christian Bram is in 4th. Michael Pushman is in 5th. Alan Mead is in 6th. Josh Darn is in 7th. Anderson is in 8th. Reese is in 9th. And Horton rounding out your top 10. So Max, are you feeling a little bit excited for this race tonight?
Yeah, I'm really excited about tonight's race. It's going to be a very close one. The rounds of brands always are. Added to the fact because the layout is so short, you know, the margin for error is so small that, you know, just even 1 or 2 mile an hour offing Druids will set you back 2 tenths, and that could drop you 5-6 places down on the grid. So yeah, I'm expecting some really close, tight pack racing, and obviously there'll be the usual frills and spills that we've come to know throughout the touring car racing.
Yeah, and we just saw on the screen that Michael Pishman has taken. Oh, and Alan Mead just gone off a little bit there, just overtaken by Alex Miller. But though Pishman has taken over from the lead at the moment in practice from Jan Tits. It's not qualifying at the moment; it's just practice. So anyway, while we're waiting to get on to qualifying, Max, if you would like to do the honours, you might. Can you tell us the championship positions?
I will once I have them in front of me.
Yeah. So while we're waiting for the championship positions, may as well have a look at some other drivers out on track. We're currently on board with Chris English, just going off onto the IndyCar corner for this. Oh, and that was Alex Miller just spun off just in front of him there. And this is a night race, which is much more challenging to the drivers. I mean, they're not used to this kind of thing. They're only used to racing in the daytime. But though this night event is really going to change the them as off goes Simon Crane in, from my point of view, a temporary car. I haven't loaded up properly since he last came in. But though I will do soon.
And our factor disqualification for not turning his lights on.
Yeah. So, Max, have you got the championship positions up yet?
Yes, in the Drivers' Championship, we've got Chris English at the top, 2 points ahead of Daniel Hahn for P1 Gaming. Just behind them is Kevin Mass, who's 15 points behind. And then fourth is Simon Crane, who was leading the championship earlier in the year. But to be fair, I think the fight's going to be between Chris and Daniel for this one. If we look at the teams championships, where it's a clear margin for M Sport Racing, Rockstar are 117 points behind, so I think it's pretty much a given that M Sport have won the teams championship, that's for sure.
Okay, so though Mass is still in this fight, isn't he?
Kevin Mass, if the other drivers have a poor weekend, he may have a chance, but with Chris English, you know, he looks to be on form this weekend. I can't see Kevin Mass being able to top him.
Right, I just want to say, which championship results are you looking at? Are you looking at the 2013 or the 2014 championship results?
2014.
Okay, so yeah, just checking. Oh, and Chris English has got his front lights off, very risky there. Do not turn your lights off, especially when you have a little bit of light around you. Always keep your lights on. There we go, he's turning his lights back on. And someone's slowing in front of him. That was Kevin Mass, just going out of the third corner. Let's have a look at someone else going out on track. And oh, Chris English has gone off. Oh, careful, son. Oh, yeah, he's gone off. Okay, so we're currently looking at Christian Bram just behind. Who's that in front of him? And Andy Horton as he crosses the line. Currently in second place. Chris English is currently in first, but he's still in the pits. Jan Tits is still in third. Pishman is in fourth. Mass is in fifth. Mead is in sixth. Jostan seventh. Horton eighth. Anderson ninth. And Reese rounds out your top 10. And below them, who are done their laps at the moment, but below the top 10 are Simon Crane, Alex Muller, and Ben Stephenson.
Sorry, I don't want to interrupt, but yes, I apologies. I was reading the 2013 results. Apologies to Simon, who is currently leading the championship on 214 points. Kevin Mass is only 3 points behind, so with Chris English down in 6th place. So yeah, that kind of changes my view on things. I think it's Simon's to lose, really. He's currently 10th at the moment in practice. Kevin's up in 4th. So if Kevin can have a good weekend, he could take this championship. Rear-wheel drive cars were good to him at the start of the season, but later on he made the switch over to the Insignia. So there was a bit of controversy surrounding that, making the switch, but it appears it hasn't affected him too much. So he could wrap it up this weekend.
Well, basically, there's only two halves of the championship. There's the A season, which is the final race today of the A season, and then the next race will be the start of the B season, which will start in London. And basically, the final overall championship will be finishing at this exact circuit in July, but on the Grand Prix layout, which will be a little bit much more of a challenge to both Mass and Crane. So basically, the championship is not over yet. It's just basically at the halfway stage. So basically, so Crane still has some bits to lose, and Crane has
plenty to gain.
Yeah, plenty to gain.
I mean, it would be a good way to wrap up the first half of the season for sure. We lead the championship. But yeah, I mean, looking at the championship positions, 11th in the team's championship is not really where we want to be. That will be something we're going to try to improve on, certainly for next season.
That is Quartermass Motorsport, by the way.
Yeah, the Quartermass Motorsport, the Astra Trading 1-to-1 Quartermass Motorsport team. Yeah, but we will be certainly looking to bolster our way up. We can certainly close the gap, certainly to the two teams above us. Maybe even upset maybe the Pro Race 100s and the gravel track racing guys as well.
Okay, so we're just going to have a look at Roy Wurstner, who's just nearly overcooked it in the first corner, but just managed to save it as he goes up to the Druid's hairpin. Now he needs to make sure that he has a good lap through there by not making any mistakes. He made a slight mistake by just going slap bang in the middle of the track through that corner. Might lose him a couple. Yeah, he just lost 1/10 through there. So, but by the way, this is for 10th place for him to get up into 10th place. He's currently 12th in practice at the moment, just behind Reese and Anderson, and he just going through the he's just overcooked it nearly at the last corner, and he's just gone through the second sector, only 0.04 of a second off the pace. But though he is putting up some speed in it, is he going to get into the top 10 through practice? And the answer is no. He's only 1.3 seconds off the pace from the pole time, but he's only about a couple of tenths from 10th place, and he just got in front of Pascal Justant in the Vauxhall Insignia. Now let's have a look at somebody else, and that's Reese, who just eventually just gone off, just behind Daniel Hahn in the P1 Citroen. And Reese currently is in 11th behind Anderson, who's currently in the pits. Reese needs a good clean lap if he wants to get into the top 10, and Hahn just overcooked it there, so has Reese, but though I think they're supposed to go wide anyway to make sure to get enough speed through just only that corner. Reese just about gets the curb. Is he going to get to the... Yep, he's up by 1/10. He's up through 1/10 through the first. Oh, and he's overcooked in the third corner. So Reese not having a good practice session so far, and yeah, he's going through this corner. He's going through the final corner now. Let's go on board with him. And this is a really sounding car he is on board, because the sound hasn't been really improved on the Alfa Romeos. He's just gone 12th, so he's about he's only about 1.6 seconds slower than the 10th place car, which is basically shameful. Don't want to be rude or anything.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
Shameful is a strong word. He's not seconds off the pace.
Yeah. Okay, so let's have a look at someone else. We're going on board with Pascal Justant going into the Druid's hairpin, and gone a little bit wide there. But oh, has he? But oh, he's fast. Nope. He's only 0.2 off the pace from 10th place. Gone a little bit wide in the third corner. Coming up to the fourth and penultimate corner. Just about hit the apex. going into the final corner now, and he's only 5/10 off. Basically he doesn't know how to have a good time through there. And he's not going to get pole, he's not going to get into the top 10, and my answer is yes. He's only just missed out on the top 10 by 0.8 of a second. Let's see who's behind him. There's Roy Worcester in the Swiss Motion Ford Mondeo, and he's just going through Drew's hairpin now, and he's only off by 1/10 of a second. Or is that Jostant? No, that's Jostant. Let's go on board with Worcester again, going through the second sector, and he's just up by only 0.09 of a second, and he's nearly collided with Jostant there. But I don't think that's affected his lap.
Might have been a slight tap, but
yeah.
I don't think Jostant would have appreciated it.
Here comes Worcester, and he's just missed out on the top 10 by 0.3 of a second. And Alan Mead with his famous catchphrase, leaving the pits just as Worcester comes across the line. I mean that just seems to be a really popular catchphrase for Alan Mead, leaving the pits.
I think it's just a button he presses just to let everybody know, but nobody else seems to do the same.
I think he only says it just to make sure that if he's coming out of the pit lane, was he a danger on the track in the past? Was he?
No, I don't think so. But I think he may have had incidents in the past where other people were leaving the pits, and he'd had a collision with them maybe. Alan joined before I joined the WSVR before I did, so and he was doing it when I started, so you might have to ask him that one.
Yeah, right. But we'll ask that another time. But for now, let's just carry on with the broadcast. We'll carry on with this, and I believe we're only just about a couple of minutes away from qualifying. And basically, Kevin Masters leader. Oh, and Steffen's just gone off, and he's collided with Pishman. He's collided with Pishman at the first corner.
Yep, Mike's back in the pits. He probably wouldn't have appreciated that.
And Ben has just said sorry about that, and yeah, they're both
They're all happy about that.
Yeah, they just shook hands, not kissed and made up, because that would be a little bit freaky. Anyway, let's just carry on with Kevin Mass, who's currently leading in practice at the moment, ahead of Chris English and Christian Bram. And Kevin Mass, does he improve on his time? And the answer is nope. He's only missed out on his time, which is pole position, by only 0.2. So Mass, which might have a lot of weight when it comes to the races, is currently has only 47.7 seconds. And he's just missed
800ths of a second up on Chris English.
Yeah, so basically that's a little bit faster than English at the moment, and he's only 0.2 slower through the second sector. Is he going to improve on his time when he goes across the line? He only got about a couple of seconds to do it, and the answer is nope. No, he's not going to make it. He only just missed out by 0.4 of a second. 48.1 seconds.
It is very difficult to be able to make these cars go faster. I think Kevin has probably found the limit of the cars. When I was lapping in the 48.1s. I didn't think I could really find that much more time, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, don't be surprised if pole position time is actually slower.
Yeah, and Kevin is just and he's gone wide there. He's gone a little bit wide.
He's gone very wide going into the gravel trap. Don't want to do that.
Yep. So that's basically ruined his lap again.
It'll ruin the next one as well, because you won't have that speed coming up to the start-finish line as he goes into the first corner.
Yes, and Stefan has just made another mistake, this time straight into the Armco in the last corner. Not happy about that. We're on board with Reese, the basically the soundless Reese. Yeah, I think that is the positive reaction to say, the powerless Reese, because he's going through the track with absolutely no engine sound whatsoever. Must be a hybrid Alfa Romeo, which is not normal at all. And he's just nearly coming across his teammate Alex Muller, and he just only 1 second off the pace from 10th place. And
like I said, I mean, it was going to be tight this weekend, and we're looking down the grid. The top 15, top 14, should I say, are separated by 1.3 seconds. Could easily lose that time in a lap. You make a mistake, probably more.
Yeah, like Whistler, for example, he just went off at turn 3, and basically he's not having a good time this week. He's only in 8th place, just behind Crane. But there's one question on my mind: where is Matthew Lewis this weekend?
Matthew is currently 18th, yet to set time. He is in the pits though. Usually we'll see him come towards the end of the session. He might set a lap or two, but he will definitely be there for qualifying. I'm confident of it.
Yeah, as Wisner just comes into the pits now. Nice. Rob Mason, by the way, has entered the server, as we're currently looking at Jan Tits. We haven't seen much of Jan Tits today. He's currently in 6th. He was leading at to 1 point, but that slide though, that slide.
Only 3/10 off the second. You know, you could still fight for the win despite starting from 6th on the grid. Still to run qualifying yet. Success ballast will be factored in, so we may see him higher, may see him low. Those will qualify.
Yeah, so okay, so we've just got confirmation that there's only 5 minutes left to go until qualifying starts. So while we're waiting, we may as well take a little break. See you back in a bit. Welcome back, everyone. We're just about to go into qualifying, and it is in surprisingly, day conditions. And qualifying has just begun. Let's see who's going out onto the track first. I believe it's Michael Pishman in the Rockstar Racing BMW, surprisingly. I mean, he was in the Honda Civic before the Norris ring, but now he's changed to the BMW, which is a really wise move, because the BMW was also the car that Kevin Mass used at the beginning of the first two races of both Silverstone and Knockhill.
Be in a different drivetrain configuration.
Yeah.
Mike is going for the front wheel drive over the rear wheel drive.
Yeah, and behind him is of course reigning champion Chris English, and basically behind him is the championship leader, Mr. Kevin Mass, as they go for the first corner to start the laps. We're now going to be on board with has Chris English taken them off? Spooner, can you check the replay, see if Chris English pushed Fishman off?
Let's have a look.
Because if that did happen, then that is a major blow for Pishman, a real major blow.
Been a bit uneasy about some of the driving standards so far this season, so I feel he won't take that lightly.
Indeed. Right, Mass has set the pace with a 47.9. Wisner is second, Anson third, Reese is in fourth, and people we're swapping, so I may as well say the top 10 once they finish doing their top 10 at the moment. Which is one more try. There we go. Okay, so currently the top 10 are as follows: Kevin Mass, Christian Bram, Jan Titz, Tony Barker, Roy Wisner, Andy Horton, Alan Mead, Joshua Anderson, Reese, and Justin is just overtaken from Reese, who's currently now in 10th. Lewis is in 11th, and Muller is in 12th. Okay, so Spooner, have you? Sorry, Max, have you got that replay up?
I wasn't able to get the replay up, unfortunately. But it would appear Mike was definitely hit.
Okay, so yeah, so Mike's qualifying has already gone to a disastrous start. With only 12 minutes to go, he still has time. Okay, and English has taken over from Mass's time. The reigning champion has overtaken Mass's time by, I think, only a couple hundredths of a second. But Mass might be able to overturn that. No, he doesn't. He's only missed out by 2/10. So Kevin Mass not looking good at the moment. And I think Chris English has already got a little bit of weight on his car, because, or is that someone else who's got weight on his car?
Chris probably will have some kind of success ballast, although saying that he is outside championship, the championship top 5, so he may be running ballast free.
Okay, so we've got more people coming in. Chris English is still leading, ahead of Mass and Hutchfeld in the P1 racing. Pishman has finally managed to put in the time, only 4th position. Yantis is in 5th, Bram 6th. Mason has just taken over from Bram's time in 6th, Bram 7th, Lewis is 8th, Barker is in 9th, Worcester rounds out the top 10. Horton is in 11th, Crane 12th, Muller, then it is Mead, Anderson, Jostant and Reese.
Okay, so Chris English has just left the pit lane, coming into Druids now to start, and will be starting his flying lap very soon. As we also keep an eye out for Daniel Hahn, as well as the current leader Kevin Mass, who's just coming over to finish his flying lap.
Okay, Kevin Mass is just finishing his lap now.
Stays the same.
And he's gone into third. And Hudspeld has overtaken English's time by just nearly 1/10 of a second faster than English. So, and I did say at the beginning of the season that the P1 cars in those Citroens that they are going to be fast, and they certainly are proving it this weekend with Hudspeld at the wheel. But Hahn, who hasn't made his lap yet, might do soon.
I think the P1 cars have really benefited from the changes in the specification of the cars. It seems to suit their driving style a lot better.
Yeah. Okay, where is Daniel Hahn? Daniel Hahn is just coming across the line now to finish, to start his lap now. Okay, he's going for the first corner. A little bit wide. Oh, and he's gone off onto the gravel. He's gone off onto the gravel. Yeah, he's gone off onto the gravel.
He's still going though. So
yeah, he's still going below here.
Oh, looks to be okay.
Yeah, might look okay, but it might damage the suspension or bodywork a bit, which might decrease his speed and basically his performance throughout the track. So basically, this might mean that he might not get to the performance that he actually wanted. And if this proves to be right, then he might need to pit again.
More cars going off. Looks like one of the Nutella cars.
Yep, it's like
Reese has gone off.
Yeah, Reese has gone off in the last corner. And Daniel Hahn's just gone past him just now. And Daniel Hahn is
also.
Daniel Hahn
Seems to be a lot of cars going off at clearways as they're coming into brakes. A lot of them are going wide onto the grass there, or are struggling with turning the car in and going wide as they come onto the main straight.
Okay, we're going on board with Matthew Lewis, who did not appear in practice. Gone a little bit wide in corner number 3, but he's trying to make sure that. Oh, yeah, he's slowing down. He's slowing down for other people to go past. He might try.
Oh, it looks like there was a bit of jostling for position with Kevin Mass and one of the P1 cars. Kevin goes across the line. Yeah, he's still only on a 47.928 though as his fastest time.
Okay, and we're now looking at Chris English as Stefan leaves the server. He's currently in front of, I believe that was Tony Barker in the orange Citroen there.
Alan Mead.
Yeah, Alan Mead. Okay, so yeah, we're looking at Chris.
To set a time.
Yeah, he's going to set a time now. Is he going to beat Hudspeld time? I think he might do. Nope. He's currently he's starting the lap. He's starting the lap, and he's currently behind both Michael Pushman and Simon Crane. And Simon is one of the championship contenders this weekend. And Chris English is up by 300 of a second. Will that improve in the second sector? And the answer
Simon
is
Crane's stuck down in 15.
Yes, he's improved.
He's stuck in the 48.6s, 48.7s.
He's improved in the second he's improved in the second sector by 600 of a second. Sorry for the interruption. But though he's going into the start and finish line now, and he's got pole. He's got pole by just nearly 200ths of a second faster than Hudspeld. So English is really proving his pace this afternoon as Pushman just goes off a track and Druids. So
looking at Simon, he's probably got the worst final track to go on for this season. Going in with performance ballast in a track where lap time is so crucial. He's really struggling. He's currently down in 14th at the moment, so he'll have to rely on his race pace to move his way back up.
And Chris English is currently behind Barker and Anderson. Barker, and that was a really close call with Barker there as they go across the start and finish line. Chris, you don't need to go that close.
Daniel Hahn trying to get past Stark.
And Jim Self has gone on. Jim Self has spun at Druids and nearly taken some people off. Yep, basically Jim Self's qualifying is basically up a little bit. But he's still got plenty of time. He's got about 5 minutes and 15 seconds left.
Alan Mead going well wide at Graham Hill. heading straight for the tyres.
And Anderson has gone wide in the last corner. Gone off onto the gravel trap. That will really spoil his lap. I mean, he made a wise move from that Ford Focus to a, basically that's a Chevrolet. And he's right in front of Michael Pishman in the Rockstar BMW. And he's just right behind the insignia of, I believe, that's Kevin Mass going into Druids now. And, oh, nearly takes Pishman off by braking too early. But though Pishman avoids that. Pishman needs to get past him if he doesn't want to get taken out by Anderson. No, Pishman has avoided that and just basically quit the garage. And Anderson is going too much into that corner, but though he's keeping it on track. But that slide though. Anyway, we only got about nearly 4 minutes left now. Yeah, we got 4 minutes left now. And Anderson is currently in 15th place. We'll now have a look at Andy Horton, just coming across the line to finish his lap. He's not going to make it to the top 10. Yep, he's still in 14th, just behind Jost Arndt, but in front of Anderson. Muller's got off in the first corner, just managed to avoid Horton by just simply quitting the garage. Mason, yes, Robert Mason has taken over Hutsfeld's time by, or I'm not sure that's Mason or that's English. No, I think English has left the game actually.
English is currently out of the server, that is right. So Rob Mason does take over the lead for pole position with a 47.819. Only slightly slow is Max Hudsfield, who is on a 47.825, which is 6 thousandths of a second, I believe.
Okay, so
and then just behind them is Daniel Hahn in third. So yeah, it's really close at the top.
yeah, and Chris English is back on server just now and has reclaimed pole. So so I was going to say before English came back on that if English fails to come back on, which is basically just meaningless now from me saying it, then basically Mason will take pole position, but that's not happened. English has returned to the server, and English resumes his right to have pole position as Jost Arndt goes too much into that first corner. Be careful, Pascal. I mean, this is not the race; it's just qualifying. Well, it is. Well, basically,
you've got to remember these guys, they're pushing to the absolute limits for qualifying. So expect cars to be going wide for sure.
Yeah, expect cars to be sliding a lot. They be sliding just now, like Jost Arndt just now.
A lot of the drivers are still getting used to this new tyre compound. It is, when the tyres are cold, they can be very slippery, and you do get a lot of snap oversteer going through paddock. That will become very apparent.
Yeah, and I should say this, but these tyres were actually taken from the exact same data that they used on the Honda Civic NGTC BTCC car from R Factor 2, the stock car, or R Factor 2.
I was speaking to Matt Neal about the very car at the Autosport show earlier this year. They worked with Dunlop through the development, so a lot of the all the tyre data that they're using here has been supplied by Dunlop and then inadvertently taken by the WSVR to be used with our cars. But also suspension geometry as well, and chassis characteristics have all been taken from the NGTC Civic for the benefit of our cars.
So basically what you have here, more realism.
Exactly, yeah. Some drivers are liking it, others not so much. The whole sort of just jump in the car and go quick days are gone. You've really got to be in a position now where you've got to test your cars. Ooh. You've got to do at least 100 laps if you want any chance of being competitive at the weekend.
Yeah, and Simon Crane just got off in the first corner, so basically he's not going to have enough chance to improve on his position, as we only got about... Oh, and Muller's gone off as well, as they go into the final shootout for pole position. We only got about 20 seconds left, so may as well have a look at who is going to take pole today. Right.
I can't really see anybody challenging Chris. You know, he's been on fine form all season. A 47.694. That's a very quick time. Although Rob Mason looks set to be on a hot lap, he may go slightly quicker. He comes across the line now.
That's Christian Bram, and he's gone.
Rob Mason's gone into second.
Rob Mason's gone into second. Is Huntsville going to improve? No, he's currently in third. Here,
Christian Bram coming over the line.
Mass coming on soon, and he's taking fifth. And Barker is in eighth. Lewis has still got to do his lap. Where is he? There he is. He's coming across. He's going to come across the line now. Is he going to take over from English's time? There may be a chance, and the answer is no. He remains in 10th, which means that Chris English, is it for the first time this year that he's taking pole position?
I think it's his second this year.
Okay, so it's his second pole position this year on the final race for this half of the season, and he's taking pole position. So congratulations to Chris English. Second place is Mason. Then it is Matt Hesfeld in third. Fourth place is Daniel Hahn. Fifth, Mass. Sixth is Bram. Seventh, Pishman. Eighth, Barker. Ninth is Tits, and Lewis rounds out your top 10.
So between first and last is only just a second and a half. You know, it is so tight this round. Like I say, it is going to be very interesting to see how they all go into the first corner, because it will be mental.
Okay, so please do excuse me. I think we're just going to try. Probably going to get one guy in, but hopefully for an interview before the race, unless that's a little bit impossible. But we'll try and find someone for an interview. So Max, if you'd like to do the honours.
Yep.
User left your channel.
Okay, so we're waiting for a second. Okay, so while we're waiting for an interview from either of the guys, might as well just check what the race is going to be for the next season for the BTCC in 2014. Okay, so half season points drop. This will be the final. So today is the final race for this half of season A. And season points drop begins on the 11th of April.
User joined your channel.
In
Right,
London.
excellent. So Josh is going to come over and speak to me. So.
Okay, so
Hi Josh.
Hello.
So not a great qualifying for you then. Care to explain what might be the problem?
Well, it just wasn't my qualifying, I don't think. I think it's more I had good sectors. I mean, if I check my sector times, I would have had a 48-1 if I could have just strung a lap together. But that's the thing, I just couldn't get a lap together. I'd get a good sector 1, good sector 2, then sector 3, which is all go pear-shaped.
So is it the entry into clearways you're suffering from oversteering there? Because you did look as if you were going off a few times.
It was the last corner I had problems with. I think it was because I had too much brake pressure and too much to the back. I've since solved that because for the race setup, I've decided to put my brake pressure down a bit and put the balance to the front, which I know I'm more confident in. I'm going to soften the roll bars a bit as well. And then I've got the fuel pretty much sorted, so hopefully I can score well. Who knows? Maybe get some points, maybe top 10. I'd like to have a top 10, but I doubt it'll happen though.
Yeah. One
Okay,
final question. Obviously, with it being so tight between the field, only a second and a half covering the top 20, do you feel you will be able to move from the position you're in through either overtaking, or do you feel you'll need to rely on other cars making mistakes to progress up?
I think I could probably have a few people, but to be honest, it's more going to be more mistakes, to be honest. I mean, consistency is key, and I saw quite a lot of people going off in practice and qualifying, so, you know, it could all go pear-shaped for them, and I might be able to benefit from that. But, like, you know, let's hope for some nice clean racing. Let's hope they we don't get any turn one madness. Keep the red zone clear. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Yep,
Thank you very much, Josh, and we'll wish you the best for race 1.
Thank you very much.
User left your channel.
Okay, so while we're waiting for the race to begin, we might as well check to take you have a look through for the next half of the season, which will begin the points drop, which will begin on the 11th of April in London, followed on the 25th of April at Donington, a day after my birthday. So, sorry for that. On the 2nd of May, we'll be going to Fruxton before going to Stetson on the 23rd of May. Alton Park is on the 6th of June, followed by on the 27th of June at Croft, and finally on the 11th of July, the final race of the season will be at this very circuit on the GP layout in the daytime, not the night time. Okay, so we've only got about less than 6 minutes to go in warm up and before we go to the race. So while we're waiting, we're just gonna take a quick break. Please join us back in a sec. Okay, welcome back everyone. We're just about to go into the first race of tonight here at Brands Hatch on the Indy circuit. Night race, and it's going to be a basically a cracker. Are you ready for this race, Bax?
Yeah, I was going to say it will be interesting to see how they all start. I'm personally expecting carnage. There usually is. Like I remember last year, I was part of the carnage. Got caught out with a really good start. So yeah, as the cars pull away into their formation lap, it'll be really interesting to see how some of the drivers attack the first corner or the first lap with the tyres being so cold and less forgiving when they're cold, as like I said earlier with the snap oversteer.
Okay, so let's go for the grid. Let's go for the grid quickly. We got Chris English is on pole, ahead of Rob Mason. Matt Hersfeld is in third. Daniel Hahn in fourth, but nearly overtaken by Kevin Mass on formation lap. Alan Mead is actually Christian Bram. Then it is Barker, Tits, and Lewis is just retired to the garage. Yeah, they're restarting the weekend because
Always one.
Yeah. Yeah, so just need to wait to get back into the qualifying, or actually get back into the race, really.
To say qualifying, we've been there, done that.
Yeah. Just need to wait for the.
I don't think we've ever started first time round. There's always somebody who's forgot to join, or they haven't put enough fuel in their car, or
basically there's carnage everywhere.
That too. Managed to take out 6 cars off the grid once. Hopefully I was so far back I was just watching all this carnage unfold in front of me thinking, oh, I've made up a few positions here. Yeah, didn't in the end. Had to fight for those. I think I got on the podium that weekend as well.
Right, as they reapply the penalty mass to those drivers, first of all to Simon Crane, which is 45 kilograms. Then to Kevin Mass.
That's really going to hurt him in the race, I think.
Yeah, Kevin Mass, 35 kilograms. Who is next for 25 kilograms?
25, I would believe, is Christian Brown.
We'll just have to wait a second. Okay, Kevin. Oh, wait a minute. Kevin Mass has got another 25 added to him. He's already got another one on.
Yeah, that might be for championship position.
Yeah, for championship position, but he's been added a couple of penalty mass to himself 2 times. One for 35 and one for 25, just in the same instance. So basically, adding that is basically about around 60, to be honest. 15 is
Yeah,
added.
that sounds about right. Yeah, that sounds about right.
50 has been added to Matthew Lewis, and then 5 kilograms to Jan Tits. I'm not sure if they need to do the grid positions again, as Michael Bushman comes back into the server now. Okay, so Matthew Lewis is going to finish a couple of settings, and then we'll get to the grid. He says only 2 minutes, so might as well just wait for a second. Actually, we'll be back in a sec. Don't go away. Okay, everyone, welcome back, and we're just about to go into the possibly the final restart of race 1, because well, we had to restart the race before due to too many people crashing out and such. I'm still here. Max is still here. Say hello.
Yep. Okay, so yep, going for another formation lap. Car's itching to get away. So Chris, always behaving by the rules, waits till the lights go green.
Okay.
And we are away.
Okay, so Chris English leads at the moment on the formation lap from Rob Mason in second place. Matt Hesfield in the P1 is in third. In fourth position, it's usually Daniel Hahn, but he's in the pits. Kevin Mass is behind him in fifth. Sixth is Christian Bram. Seventh is Barker. Eighth, Jan Titz. Ninth is Matthew Lewis, ahead of Alan Mead and Roy Worcester. And then we've got Andy Horton just behind him. And then Muller, Crane. Then we've got Justin and Stefan have made mistakes of them as the third corner again, but no more restarts as they say. And I think making his debut is Andreas Stark, isn't he? In the Ford Focus.
I believe he is, yeah.
Yeah, and he's already making a name for himself already. It's not good. There's Reese, there's Self, and obviously there's us two in the commentary box in the garage. And Stefan is at the back of the grid with Joshua Anderson. So
as the cars are coming into place, what's your prediction for the race? Who's going to win?
Basically, possibly might be Mason, or if Chris gets it together, then he could go for his first win of the season. Okay, so
I think I'm going to have to put my money on Chris.
Okay, so the lights are going on, and the night race here at Brands Hatch is lights out and away we go, and looks like Mason has already got a good start ahead of English, but English may have a little bit of wheel spin at the start, but he's still leading ahead of Mason as they come up to the Druids hairpin. And Mason is trying around on the outside. No, he's not trying it as they go major carnage throughout the Druids.
Gone wide.
Yeah, Muller's gone
into the rail trap.
Yeah, and looks like Crane might as well gone wide as well. But though the two main men at the lead at the moment is Chris English and Rob Mason, with Kevin Mass just behind them. But though, let's see if there's any other battles going on. There's Christian Brown against Matt Hesfield, and Hesfield hits it, and oh, is that Barker just gone off there? But Barker had a little bit of touch with his teammate Mead.
Barker is still further up. No, he's still on the circuit.
Yeah. Right. And currently bringing out the back of the field is basically Ben Steffen. Now let's have a look at the top. Let's have a look at the top two between English and Mason. Now Mason has won some races before, but English I think hasn't this year, has he?
So I don't wish to interrupt, but there looks to be a good scrap going on between the two M Sport cars and the Swiss Motion car, Roy Worcester.
Oh yep, Lewis is currently leading ahead of the trio, but though Simon Crane is really pushing down Roy's neck now. Right, back to the top two. Mason has won a race, English hasn't. But would you say that English might win in possibly his first race this year?
It's looking that way at the moment. Chris hasn't had much opportunity to race this year, so I think he'll take this opportunity with both hands and run with it, and he looks to be doing that so far.
Yep, he needs to be fast but careful, because remember, despite being a short circuit, you can make loads of mistakes here, and you have to keep it steady for at least 20 more laps.
Yeah, well, he's maintaining a good gap to Rob Mason. Rob Mason, though, he is close enough, so he could close that gap quite easily. I don't know what Chris has got in reserve. Looking at his last lap, it was 47.7, so he's certainly pushing.
Yep, and the trio of both the M Sports and the Swiss Motion of of basically Worcester is a little bit miles apart, as both the Kevin Mass just hit the tyre wall, just hit the tyre basically object of turn 3. No damage done to him in the insignia at the moment.
Okay.
But Mass is going extremely wide through the last corner there. That's going to lose him
that
some
car
time.
does not look stable underneath him.
Yeah, and basically English is pulling away a little bit from Mason.
Simon Crane is making a move onto Roy Worcester.
Let's have a look.
Going into paddock now.
Yep, he's going to make a move into the inside. Does Crane make the move? No.
He'll go for Druids.
They're going for Druids now. Crane might
Go for the undercut.
Yeah, but though, and Crane is just nearly on the inside here, going through Druids, going for the third corner. Crane might not risk his move there because it is a tight corner. It is tight to get through.
Go through, take the slipstream.
And
it's gone wide.
Yeah, it's gone wide a little
wide.
bit. Going through the couple of penultimate corners, so yeah, Crane has basically lost a little bit of Worcester there. So basically, it's not going to be a tight battle between them anymore until Crane actually closes up on him, which he might do, coming through the start-finish straight.
Crane is going so much faster than Roy Worcester at the moment. I can see that gap closing, literally corner by corner.
Yeah, and yeah, he's really close on there now. Oh, Lewis nearly lost it at Druids.
Oh, oh.
What is it?
I was going to say he's right back on his rear bumper again now, so he'll be going for it.
Yeah, and Worcester has just gone off.
Worcester's
gone off, and therefore, as a result, Crane has taken over in 8th place. So both M Sport cars are both 7th and 8th. Car number 2, I think. Is it car number 2?
Yeah,
car number 5 and car number 4.
Put a wheel on the grass there.
Okay, and Bram is having a go on Tits, going past the first corner, going to the first corner now. Is Bram going to make a move on Jan? Coming up to the Druids hairpin now. Is he going to go on the inside? Just about. Oh, they both touch.
Bit of contact.
Yeah. This is BTCC. This is the BTCC in the World Series Virtual Racing, so you can expect it this much. And who's right behind him at the moment? Matthew Lewis. Jan Tits is a little bit slower than Bram in the BMW Rockstar Racing's car. Let's have a look at back at the front. Kevin Mass closing up a little bit on Mason, but Mason is still has the same temps away from English. So English.
I was going to say it's just over a second at the moment.
Yeah, English is keeping it steady. Only got 15 laps to go. Yeah, and we can only report one retirement, and that is Joshua Anderson, who basically retired due to basically not receiving any updates from the server. So basically, it's a server crash for him. So Ben Steffen still lines up the rear, just behind Daniel Hahn, who's basically having the worst race of his life. Basically, this race behind both Josh. Wait a minute, that is Joshua Anderson that is racing there. So 2 Joshua Andersons were there, but though the other Joshua Anderson had to be removed from the server. So basically, the actual Joshua Anderson is actually racing on track. The actual Joshua Anderson, not the clone Joshua Anderson.
I was going to say, I'll have to check that one, because that seems very odd.
And Joshua Anderson is under attack from Daniel Hahn as they go down towards the first corner. Even of the might of the P1 car, and makes the move.
Yeah, I think it was just a case of intimidate and get past.
Yep. And now, Daniel Hahn is going to come up to the soundless Muller. Right, let's have a look at the other close battles. It's a battle of England versus Wales between Jim Self from England and Andy Horton from Wales. Going through the first corner now.
I'll say Tony Barker's in on that battle as well.
Yep, and Horton, basically Wales gets ahead of England. Basically, Horton. No, wait a minute. Barker is still ahead of Horton, unless he
I
makes
must
a
admit,
move.
I've been really impressed with how the Kitty Litter team have certainly grown as a team. They were perceived as the B team of Gravel Trap, and now they're starting to make inroads in pushing towards the front.
Yep, and Horton is really closing up on Barker, or basically just vice versa between him and himself. Barker is keeping it steady, but make sure that he doesn't get too much of a haul by Horton. Let's have a look back at the front, and basically, yeah, English is pulled away from Mason, and Mason is now going to have a little bit of pressure from Kevin Mass.
I'll say the gap for second place is closing up, so Matt Hudsfield is also joining this fight.
As we're now going to go officially through halfway point now. 11 laps to go out of 22 here in the first race of Brands Hatch at night. The Indy Layout. And Chris English is still leading ahead of Mason, Mass, Hutsfield, Tits, Bram, Lewis. And who is behind Lewis?
Looks like this is going to be a good four-way scrap between Tony Barker, Andy Horton and co. Just Start is currently leading that. Tony Barker is obviously going to be looking to make the move. He's also got to keep an eye on his rearview mirror, as Andy Horton is also really trying hard now to get past. Here we go, Tony Barker's making a move.
He's nearly side by side with Josh Dance going through the third corner, as we're now on board with Andy Horton. We'll see what is going on in front of them. And Tony Barker is trying to find a possibility to get past Pascal as they go towards the final corner now. And basically Josh Dance basically is a little bit slower than Barker.
Yeah, I think he's holding the pack up now. All three are sort of jostling to get past him, I think. But like I say, they've got to be aware of their own position. He has cut the track there. Don't know what the steward may read into that.
And Mead's in trouble. Mead's in trouble. He's got engine failure. That is basically a huge blow for for Mead. Alan Mead is out of the race for engine failure. I think that's the first engine failure we've seen this year, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I mean, it's very easy now. When you change gear, if you change gear too quick, you can over-rev the engine. They do have a tendency to detonate.
So basically, Alan Mead, the sufferer for the first ever time of an engine failure this year, is out of the race. 9 laps to go, and basically it's a four-way scrap for basically 10th place between Josh Dant, Barker, Horton, and who else is behind them? Who else than Self? Jim Self. And Horton is and
there's a fight going on for second place here. Kevin Massey is making a move on Rob Mason.
And if he does get past him, then that's basically going to ease up Massey's battle with English. If he does get past Mason, then it basically is going to be a couple laps before he can get up to English and pass him. And
yep. Ooh, Kevin Master's gone wide, and
and he's nearly gets touched by Hudsfeld. Nearly gets touched by Hudsfeld. So basically, he's lost his battle with Mason and now got involved with a battle with Matt Hudsfeld. I remember
this is all working into Chris English's favour, of course. You know, he'll be able to pull away while they're all scrapping for position.
And it may be his first race since he became he'll win a race since he's become world champion last year, and he's just pulled in the fastest lap of the race just now. And Barker's gone off. So yeah, we have confirmed that Barker has lost his positions to both Self and Horton. But Horton is now going to have to go on Josh Dant. Remember, Josh Dant is a little bit slower.
Josh Dant seems to be all over the place at the moment. Mind you, if he keeps holding them up, Tony may be able to get that place back.
But anyway, here comes Horton, coming past the start finish line now. Is he going to try it on the inside? No, there's a little bit of too much of a tight gap. Coming up to the Druid's hairpin, this may be his chance to overtake. Josh Downs goes a little bit wide, but Horton is nearly side by side with him as they go down towards the tight left-hander of turn 3. Josh Downs goes a little bit wide. This is Horton's opportunity, and side by side with him as they go.
Inside, he'll have it.
He's going inside. So basically, Wales wins again, just ahead of Josh Downs. Oh no!
He's gone for the inside line. That's a good move. He's held it. Good work by Josh Downs.
This is really a significant battle we're seeing between Horton and Josh Downs, as Self is now closing up again. This time with Barker just behind them, and it's really a four-way scrap. And Josh Downs got wide, and Horton has succeeded. And I believe is that Barker just got off.
Yep, Barker went into the barrier at paddock.
Oh dear. So basically, it's not a good race for Barker, but it's an extremely good race for Horton, as he's now gone up into 10th place, and he's lost it already himself. So Jim Self not looking good here today. Actually, he is looking good. And now Horton is under attack from Josh Downs.
He's just gone into the barrier at Druids. So keeping an eye on the battle for second place. Kevin Mass is back on the tail of Rob Mason. Mind you, still maintaining the gap, actually closing the gap to Chris English now, only just 1.28 seconds.
Okay, and we've just
between them and the leader.
Okay, we just received that that Daniel Hahn has been given a drive-through penalty. Daniel Hahn has been given a drive-through penalty. I think what happened earlier? I don't know.
Could be for exceeding track limits.
I really have no idea. There is Daniel Hahn. Can you find out the replay? We'll see what. I think he might be exceeding the pit limit because did he pit on that lap?
He is. Where are Daniel? He did pit. He did a 141, so I can only assume that he. Yes, you're right. He probably did. He was speeding out the pit lane.
Yeah. There's pit limiters are there for a reason, for safety, and basically, you know the rules. Break safety rules, you'll break the real rules, and basically, you'll get a drive-through or a 10-second stop gate penalty or disqualification if you're that stupid enough. Sorry for that.
Right, for the lead, he's getting very fierce now. Back to Chris English is less than a second, and Rob Mason has also got Kevin Mass and Matt for company.
Yeah, Matt Husfeld is really closing up on Mass, but he's just lost a little bit going through Druids. And Mason is really holding up Mass's position. He only got about 3 laps to go, and it's really looking good for Chris English. He's only about 3 laps to go away from when he claims his first victory of the season and his first victory since he became champion in 2013.
Mind you, I think Kevin Mass is about to make his move now. He's got the slipstream over on Rob Mason.
Yeah, he's going to try on the outside, but no, he's switching back to the inside, going across the line now. Only 2 laps to go.
Play nicely, boys.
And he's playing
now
nicely.
7 attempts to the leader.
Yep, and here comes Mass through Druids. It touches a little bit of Mason, and it goes through. But wait a bit, Mason.
Job's not done yet. Chris English is now in that fight as well.
Yeah. Chris English is really actually so done. Oh,
there was contact. There was definitely contact there.
Oh dear. Come on, Chris, you can do this. You can do this. You only got about 2 laps to go. Do not give up, son. Do not give up.
So much for impartiality.
Yep. Oh, and he's nearly been touched by Husfeld. And Husfeld is really closing up on Mason. We only got about only 1 more lap to go. Just 1 more lap for Chris English.
I can only assume Chris's tyres have gone off because he looks to be really struggling now.
Yep, he's really struggling. And has Husfeld been in the pits? And Mass touches English. Mass touches English, but oh, he's still safe. He's still safe. Oh, and it looks like Husfeld was nearly going to try and take. And English is basically released from that pressure. He's now only about a couple more corners to go. You can still go, son. You can still do it. Going for the first corner. Is he going to keep it clean? Yes, he is. And Chris English comes through to take his first win of the season since he became champion in 2013, Chris English wins the first race here at Brands Hatch on the Indy Layout. A well-deserved victory for him. Well done to him. So in second place comes Mass. In third is Hutsfeld. Fourth is Mason. Fifth, Jan Titz. Bram is in sixth. Lewis is in seventh. Who's going to come? Eighth, Simon Crane. Ninth, here he comes, is Roy Wusner. And 10th place is Jim Self. Yep, Jim Self takes 10th ahead of Andy Horton, who had a really good going, but unfortunately has to sell for 11th. Josh Dant is in 12th. 13th is Barker. 14th is Stark on his debut. Then it is Reese, and basically that is pretty much it. Well, that was some sort of race there. So,
yep.
Max, who would say is your driver of the race?
I'd have to say Kevin Mass there, I think. I felt Chris just probably pushed a little too hard in the beginning of the race and tried to tail off towards the end. I think I could only put that down to his tyres wearing out. Kevin drove a very solid race, he fought hard, and to get second is a very good result for him and his team.
But my man for the race has got to be Chris English, because he started from pole and he managed to get the win, which he failed to do so at the beginning of the season, and now he's got that much deserved win that he ever needs since he became champion. It's a well deserved effort for him, and I think he's been through a lot to get through to that win, and he had a couple of opportunities like at Knockhill earlier this year, but unfortunately mistakes from others basically and he was involved with those incidents that may have lost him a little bit. But though he's managed to get a win today, it's really emotional for him. I just want to say congratulations to him.
Dude, it never gets, judging by your commentary.
And now we are gonna try and get a couple of interviews. So Max, if you'd like to do the honours.
Yep.
User joined your channel.
Okay, who we got in the commentary box is Mr. Joshua Anderson. So, hello, Josh.
Hello.
So, Josh, you must feel a little bit disappointed with your performance today.
Yeah, I definitely am. I had the pace, I think, to be 10th or 11th based on, quality and warm-up results, and I was 11th at one point. I did manage to climb up to that, but then it all kind of went pear-shaped when I spun, and somehow I spun it, and not the front bumper off, lost downforce, and, well, that kind of went downhill from there, really.
But though, do you
So,
think...
Josh, could you sorry, don't mean to interrupt. Could you explain the why you had two of you in that race there?
Oh yeah, I think because there was a clone of us earlier from when lots of people dropped out, but that I guess after that didn't get kicked, and then eventually the clone of me did get kicked, and I ended up where I ended up. And
do you think that you might improve in race 2?
Well, I'm not going to be in the last two races, unfortunately, because of time constraints. But it was good to be in race 1 and see how it goes, make my debut in a sense. Who knows where I'll go from here, though. I'll do plan to be in the rest of the season. Not on the Chevy Cruise, but maybe someone else. Who knows?
Okay, so by the way, Joshua, if you are available to join us in the commentary box, then you're more than welcome to for the last race.
Alright, thank you very much for that offer then.
Okay, and yeah, see you soon.
Alright.
Alright, ta-ra.
User left your channel.
Okay, so if we can get the winner for race 1 if we can in Max.
I'll see what I can do.
Okay.
User left your channel.
Okay, so in the commentary box with me, I got the winner from race 1, Mr. Chris English. Hello, Chris. Chris? Okay, basically Chris is basically a little bit silent tonight.
User was moved out of your channel. Channel switched.
Your interview, Chris.
Right, guys. Other than Joshua Anderson, then we won't be able to get anyone for interview for race 1. But though, stay tuned in a few seconds because we're about to go into race 2. So please stick with us.
Attention grid, will all non-essential personnel leave the grid now?
Okay, so we're about to go into the, I believe, is race 2. We just need to wait for the cars to get onto the grid and get ready for the start. Chris English will take pole ahead of Kevin Mass, Rob Mason, Jan Titz, Christian Bram, Matthew Lewis, Simon Crane, Roy Wisner, Jim Self and Andy Horton. That is the top 10. Okay. Okay, so let's have a look at the grid. Max, are you there? Max?
Hey.
Yeah, Max is still here. Right, so basically Jim, there's Then we got Tony Barker, then Jostarn, Stark, Muller, Hirschman, Hahn, Stefan, Mead, and English. No, yeah, English still is in the lead. Okay, so are we ready for this? Max, are we ready for the race? I think you might be a little bit preoccupied. Right.
User in your channel timed out.
Okay, we have officially found out that Max is a little bit preoccupied right now. Okay, so but anyway, the second race here at Brands Hatch in the night time is lights out and away we go. And basically, Chris English has got a good start ahead of Kevin Mass. Going into the first corner, is Mass going to overtake him? I don't think so. And Rob Mason is really close onto his behind as they go into Druids. Mason is really side by. Oh, and Mass is side by side with English. Is he going to get past him into the third corner? The answer is no. But Mass still has the advantage. He has a little bit less weight than English, mind you. Going into the second corner now. And here comes Chris English to complete basically his first lap of race 2. Masters in second, Tits third, Brown fourth, Lewis fifth, Crane sixth, Mason seventh, Wissner in eighth, Self ninth, and Barker rounding out the top 10. Let's have a look at any battles from behind. Lewis, Crane and Mason are having a go at each other there. So is Barker, Self and Horton. Who else is battling? Hahn and Pishman. And Hahn has just pushed Pishman off the track. He will not like that one bit. Not at all. Looking back at the front. And basically both insignias are actually challenging English for the top spot. But English is unfazed. Going through the first corner now. Mind you, this is his second lap today. His second lap of race 2, I should say. Into turn 3. 3 cars behind. There's a couple more cars behind him. Has someone gone off? I don't think so. Chris English still leads, and Mass is really close on him. Let's go on board with Mass. Mass behind the camera. Let's have a look at the front camera. There we go. And English has the fastest lap of the race, but he's sliding around a lot from Kevin Mass. English can get the job done. Remember, Mass has loads of weight on his car because he's currently leading the championship, and he's got much more weight than English because English is not that high up in the championship. Going through the last corner now to start basically his 4th lap out of 22. And has it been an accident already, has it? Yep, has Stefan gone off. And Stark, on his debut, not looking good for him. Here comes Mason, nearly attacking Lewis there. Still keeping on into first position. Mass putting the pressure on him as always. And English is really paneling under pressure from Mass. Someone else. Crane and Hahn are at it. Crane nearly collides with Hahn. Hahn goes wide and Crane takes the position. Going into turn number 3. And Andrea Stark has retired. So basically it's not looking at a good debut for him. Mass has officially moved up into first position. We haven't seen what happened, but he is up in place, and Mason's just overtaken him there. So basically, what happened with English? Has he had some problem, or is he been spun out by Mass? I don't know what it was wrong, but we'll find out later on. What But now he has to try and get past Mason. Which is going to be a little bit of a difficult task for him. Coming up to the Druids hairpin now. Is he going to... No, he's not going to try on the inside at the moment. Lewis has gone a little bit wide there, which will cost them a little bit of time. That might allow Mason and English to close up. But English has only got about 15 laps left, so I'm pretty sure he'll try and move up the field if he can. He's really closing up on him. Mass and Tits still lead the way from Bram, Lewis, Mason and English. That's the top 6. And Mason's gone off onto the gravel, and English has a chance. Moves up at the Druids hairpin. There we go. Yep. He's moved up ahead of Mason. And now he's going to have a chance at Lewis. Here he comes into the last corner. Lewis goes a little bit wide. That's the opportunity for... Oh! Lewis hits a little bit of English. English hits a little bit of Lewis. Lewis will not like that at all. But no, English is a little bit faster. And he's coming up. His next target now is Bram, which will be for 3rd place. And then, of course, the 2 Vauxhall insignias of Jan Tits and Kevin Mass. There's only 13 laps to go. Let's have a look at some of the battles from behind. No battles for behind at the moment. There's one for Lewis and Mason. We'll be on board now with Mason, see if he can make a move. Lewis is really close on English, who just recently got past him, and English has posted the fastest lap of the race, a 47.842. Now that is fast. But Chris English is fast through the 1st sector, Lewis is fast through the 2nd sector, and Mass is fast through the last sector. So basically, English is basically okay from start after Druids, but from after Druids to basically near the last corner, he struggles a bit, and he really struggles in the backs on the pit straight. We're only halfway distance now. and English really needs to close up on English if he English really needs to close up on Bram if he wants to get third place, which will be a really long ride for English. And Muller has officially called it a day. Basically, it's not looking good for him. English is really closing up. Actually, Mason is closing up on English. Bram is keeping it steady. 10 laps to go. It's normal German top 3 with basically 3 men from Britain behind. This is actually looking like Top Gear when Top Gear goes ahead. It goes head with German motors. Only 9 laps to go. This English going feisty through that corner. He isn't even mad by it. He's still keeping on going. And he's really closing up on Bram, isn't he? Yeah, nearly there. Let's have a look at different battles from behind. And there's one between Hahn and Horton. Hahn's gone off. So much there, so much overload there. Hahn has made a right tomfoolery of himself. And nearly takes out Pishman. That's how close he is there. That was really close between him. Now we're going back to the battle between English and Bram. Only 8 laps to go. English has posted the fastest lap. He still has the fastest lap of the race. English wants just one win and at least a podium finish this race if he wants to just be basically happy this weekend. And oh, was there a crash behind? There was nearly a crash there. I don't think so. I don't think I saw anyone having a crash out. And Bram is really struggling to keep on to that 3rd place. Remember, this is BMW power versus Ford power. English is really closing up on Bram. And Bram breaks a little bit early there. And this is basically English's opportunity into Druids. No, he's just on the edge of the bumper there. Only 6 laps to go. He's still got plenty of time. Going through the 3rd corner. And my God, that's close. Through the penultimate corner. Has Tits just gone off? Yeah, Tits has gone off. So basically, as a result, as Tits just, I think Tits has retired, has he? Yeah, Tits has retired. Which means, as a result, that Mass is in the lead, but Bram has moved up to 2nd, and English is in 3rd. Yep, he's officially retired. Stefan is slowing down a bit. Here comes English. Oh, and he touches Bram. English needs to finish his battle with Bram if he wants to be happy that he got a win in race 1, a second place in race 2, and basically if he gets a position in third in race 3, well, that's basically 1, 2, 3, basic numbers. And here he comes, just on the inside of Bram, and English takes second place. 4 laps to go, and basically he doesn't have a chance to have a battle with Mass. And Mason is having a little bit of a go at Bram as they both touch as they go into the Druids. Let's have a look at Mass. He's only about 4 laps away from winning the second race here at Brands Hatch in the dark. English is only 3 laps away now. Mass, remember, needs to take it easy. He's got a long road in front of him, and he doesn't need to worry about anything at this moment in time. He can just cruise home. But though English basically has everything to lose at this moment in time. He's currently just in front of Bram and Mason, which is not going to give him much hope. And Tony Barker's just gone off, which is allowing both Mead and Horton to get past. And I think Worcester, no, is actually just on that, is reeling up the back. No, it's Stefan really. Stefan's reeling up the back. Okay, so back to that, English's battle to the front. He's only basically Mass has only got about 1 lap to go after he finishes this lap. And basically that will be another victory for Mass. Yep, so 1 more lap to go for Mass. And here comes English, Bram and Mason. If Mason can get past Bram in this last lap, then it'll be an English, then there'll be a basically a British 2-3 if it were. But it's unlikely to happen. English has got to hold up Bram as much as he can for his countrymen to get past Bram, as a result get into the podium. But let's have a look at Mass. He's only about a corner away now, and Kevin Bass didn't think he might get a win today, but basically people have proved him wrong. He's basically proved people wrong, and as a result wins the second race here at Brands Hatch. Who will come second? Chris English. Who will come third? It's Bram, not Mason. Mason comes home in 4th. In 5th place is Lewis, unless Crane gets past him, which he nearly does. My goodness, that's a really tight there for the finish, but Lewis is able to finish ahead of Crane, with Self in 7th, Horton in 8th, Barker 9th, and Worcester rounding out the top 10. Mead is in 11th. 12th place, if he can come past now, is Jostard. No! Jostard manages to finish, but he gets pushed off by Stefan. What is he doing? So we'll have to find out what happened there. So basically Mass won the race. Tiss is still yet to come home now. Here he comes. No, I don't think he's going to come home. So we're back in the sector. Just need to go and get a couple of interviews. Okay, basically in the commentary box with me, I got Mr. Simon Crane. Hello, Simon.
Right on.
Okay, so let's have a look at race 2. How did you do in race 2?
I think I started about 7th or 8th.
Okay.
Oh yeah, decent start, but then I know a lot of drivers are struggling out of the last turn with braking. So yeah, I hit the grass here and spun, so I kind of messed up my race, but managed to get 6th back in the end. And now I've got a pole for this race, so not bad.
But though you had a major battles going on with your teammate Matthew Lewis and Roy Wisner. Was Roy a tough opponent to you this race?
Sorry?
Was Roy a tough opponent to you this race?
It was Jim, but yeah. It was a good battle in the end. Managed to. I think me and Matt's gap was about 0.031, so it was quite close.
And one more question before you go. Do you think you'll possibly get an improvement in this race?
I've got no weight and I'm on pole, so as long as I can keep it on the track, then it should be better to get top 3 at least.
All right. Wish you the best for the final race today.
But cheers.
Right. Ta-ra.
User was moved out of your channel.
Okay, so we're just gonna need to wait for a couple more minutes now before we go back into the race. Don't go away. Okay, so we're about to go into the final race of the day at precisely 11 o'clock GMT in the evening. Surprisingly, well, unsurprisingly. Okay, so basically Simon Crane has got pole position ahead of his teammate Matthew Lewis. Rob Mason's behind them, and Christian Bram, Chris English, and Kevin Mass. So basically the top 6 have swapped. Everyone else stays where they are. Okay, so we are about to get the lap underway. And basically it's Simon Crane leading ahead of his teammate Matthew Lewis, and then Rob Mason, Christian Bram, and then it's Chris English, and then Kevin Mass is in 6th position. The rest of the people stay where they are as prior to the results in the previous race, which were Jim Self, Andy Horton is not starting at the moment, Barker, Wisner, Mead, Jostant, I believe, that's me, then Stefan, Tits, and then basically that's it so far, unless I missed anyone else. Now this could be a little bit of a difficult start, especially for both the Sim M Sports, because this race could be another win for Simon Crane, or the first win for Matthew Lewis. We'll have to find out once they get onto the grid. Okay, so wait for drivers to get in. Yep. And the final race here for the first half season is lights out and away we go. Simon Crane leads away from his teammate and Mason as they go into the first corner. And Matthew Lewis and Chris English has made a storming start, so has Kevin Mass. They both pass Christian Bram as they go into Druids, and ooh! Bram has gone wide. Mass is trying to overtake English and doesn't make the move stick. English is now moved ahead of Mass, and as a result he's now moved up into 4th position. People have already just spun out in the background in corner number 3, but right now we're just going to be focusing on the top 4 between both the M Sports of Simon Crane and Lewis. Simon of course leading ahead of Lewis, and then we got Rob Mason and Chris English, the reigning champion, just behind Mason. So we got basically the top 5 are full of race winners. One of them is the reigning champion, one of them is the championship leader, 2 of them are multiple championship winners, and one of them is basically the founder of the league, which is of course Matthew Lewis. And basically Ben Stefan is retired from the race, and Mason is really closing up on Lewis. And oh, careful there, English. And since English has got loads more speed than both the M Sports and basically Mason, he can get just flies past through the Ford Focus. And Pascal has also retired. Here comes Chris English up to the Druid's hairpin. Is he going to go on the inside? Yep, fantastic move. Unless Mason goes swapping on the inside. Yes, he does. And Mass is just really close up on him, doesn't he? He's under pressure for. And oh, Mason's gone off. English has gone a little bit off. Here he comes, going through the final corner. Let's have a look at the front. Simon Crane leading the way ahead of his teammate Matthew Lewis. Mason is in 3rd, but for how long? Will Mass and English take his position? Remember, English is really under pressure from the championship leader. Please do excuse me. And oh dear. Let's have a look at his onboard footage, car. Yeah, onboard camera. Crane is really pulling away from Lewis and Mason, but Chris English is really closing up on Mason. and look at Kevin Mass from behind. Although I think English is much more closer to Mason than Mass is to English. They only got about 18 laps to go. Simon Crane that looks like to have it all in the bag. And Chris English is the fastest man through the last sector, so Mason might be able to so English might be able to get through Mason in this final sector, which he is now. Lewis is faster through the first sector, and Wales' own Andy Horton is fast through the second sector. And did I see a puff of smoke from Simon Crane there? I don't think so. Or maybe it was just grass. Yeah, possibly maybe grass. And Lewis and Mason are so close to each other. I mean, they might have a little bit of contact, and if that does happen, and they go off track, then basically English can go on to his fight with Crane, who's at the front, but also has to be aware that that Mass is just right behind him. He's only got about 16 laps to go. And they're nearly touching, they are. Really, really touching. And Crane is seems to be slowing a little bit down. Let's go on board with Mason. Let's see how close he's going to be to Lewis when he comes through the first corner. He's really, really close. Is it going to be close going up to the Druids hairpin? Oh yes, but not that close to make an overtake. Crane is really slowing down, isn't he? Has he got some sort of problem? Only got 15 laps to go, so Crane should not give up now. He should not give up now. Unless there's a little bit of team wars between them. Which is highly unlikely. So they're going through the first corner again. And there's basically nearly a four-way going into the first corner. Oh, and English has touched Mason, which as a result overtakes Crane, and Lewis is now in the lead. Lewis is now in the lead, and Mason's gone off once again, and English sees the opportunity and goes by. Now, will English do the same for Crane? Crane is really struggling, isn't he? I mean, the top five is really close. I mean, it's within 2 seconds of each other. The top five is within 2 seconds of each other. I mean, here comes Lewis and Crane is side by side as they go into Druids. Nope. And English is really close to Crane. Could Lewis and Crane make it? An M Sport 1-2 as they only got about 13 laps to go. Chris English really disagrees with this situation as he comes up really, really close to Simon Crane. He's really, really close now. And Crane has gone wide. English seizes the opportunity. Goes side by side. No, wait a minute. English has overtook him. Now Lewis is the next target. And if Chris English gets past him, then that's basically 2 wins tonight for Chris English. And Tony Barker has officially retired from the race. Let's have a look at the battle for third place. Is really heating up between Mason, Crane and Mass. But though English is really closing up on Lewis. Let's have a look further back. Any battles going on there? I don't think so. So the main battle really at the moment, with only halfway distance to go. Lewis still leads ahead of English, but English is really closing up on him. Let's have a look on the onboard camera from English's perspective. I mean, look at that, he's really close to Lewis. And he's now under pressure from Simon Crane, which is highly unlikely as he goes on the outside of Druids. Switches back to the inside for a bit. Does he try and go side by side with Lewis? He tries to, but doesn't really get the job done. Now the top 3 are separated by just a mere second. English is really close. And Crane is side by side with him. Only 10 more laps to go. And Crane has overtaken English into the first corner. Or does he? It's really heating up. And Mass has just overtaken Mason, which has just released much more power into the Insignia to try and catch up to the top 3. And Lewis has lost it a bit. That means Crane and English can catch up. And so does Mass. Let's have a look from on board. It's really getting tight now between the top 4. I would say top 5, but though Mason is getting a little bit further back. Going into the first corner. And English is really close on his heels. He's actually on the back of Crane. Comes Chris English, and Crane has nearly lost it for the first corner, and Mass really peeling on the pressure on English as they go and complete. There are only about 7 laps to go out of 22, and Crane has made, I think, a little bit of a mistake, and Mass is trying to find a way past English. That doesn't seem to work, and English has already just gone past Crane. So English's pressure from Mass is basically safe for the moment. And now he's under pressure from Simon Crane. But that's good though. And now he's still under pressure from Crane. It's really heating up in this final race today. Here comes Crane once again on the outside. Doesn't make it stick. Into the corner. And Horton's gone off, which basically a little bit distracted Lewis, I think. So English might be able to catch up on him. He's only got about 6 laps to do this, so if he wants to pass him, it needs to be soon. And English is really peeling on the pressure on Lewis. Piling the pressure on him. Here comes Simon Crane once again to try and overtake him on the outside. Is it going to be... No, wait! English has gone wide, and that prompted Crane to get up into second place once again. Yep. But English is having none of it, and saying that he wants to reclaim it, but though he's really under attack from Mass. M Sport is only about 5 laps away from securing a British 1-2-3, but M Sport 1-2, and for English to win is to get into third place in the third race. Third race. I'm poet, and I didn't know it. Anyway, let's keep on with this now. And this will be Lewis's first victory of the season, I think. And Mass is really peeling on the pressure on the English. Because English's tyres are really wearing out, and Mass is really got strong tyres on, hasn't he? But he's only got about 4 laps to go. But is Simon Crane going to overtake his teammates once again, as they only go into only about 3 laps to go? Let's have a look at close. Let's see if there's any close battles from behind. Doesn't seem to be. And Mass is trying to make sure to find every opportunity to pass English, but English is having none of it. He's still staying in third and wants to be stayed in third. Well, that's what he says, that's what he does, and that's what he thinks. He wants to stay in third. 3 laps to go in race 3. Anything can happen, and he usually does. And Crane has gone off a little bit. So English's battle to get into second place resumes after Crane makes another few mistakes. Excuse me. Here comes English. He's only got about 2 laps to go. 2 more laps. And basically Lewis is leading the way. And Mass is going to have a go on English. And English has basically lost his chance to get into the podium for the first time this race, unless he can get this fight back on Mass. He could go for a dive, but no, he doesn't risk it. Wait a minute, there's his chance, but though Lewis is only about a couple of yards away, and Matthew Lewis wins his first ever race this season here at Brands Hatch. Simon Crane comes second, and Mass is in third, English is in fourth, Mason is in fifth, 6th place is Jan Titz, 7th comes home is Bram, and 8th is Self, 9th comes Alan Mead, in 10th is Roy Westner ahead of Welshman Andy Horton, who comes home in 11th, who just misses out. What a crash! Austin, what are you doing, son? So basically that is the final race of the first half of the season. So basically it's a well-deserved victory for Matthew Lewis, a well-deserved victory for Kevin Mass, and a well-deserved victory for Chris English. Right, so we're going to try and get final interviews before we go off air.
User was moved to your channel.
Okay, so basically we got the winner
User
from
was moved to your channel.
we got the winner from race number 3, Mr. Matthew
User
Lewis.
was moved to your channel.
Hello, Matt.
Howdy do.
So basically,
User was moved out of your channel.
so basically, congratulations on your win in race number 3. You must be absolutely delighted.
Yeah, well, it makes a nice change. It was hard graft, as any occasional win seems to be around here. But no, I think if you want an exciting race, stick the slow guy up front and let him hold everybody up.
So basically, basically, I think this may be your first win of the season. Was it a little bit difficult for you today?
No, this season, yeah, first win this season. As I always do, never entirely happy with the setup. So I changed it for race 2 and 3, and sorry, 1 and 2, and it was bad. So I went back to it for race 3, and much better. Always sod's law, should just leave things alone. Yeah, no, I knew I was not quite front and running pace. It's just a case of watching who was behind and seeing what's what. Simon had a cheeky little go towards the end, but it did the team proud and kept most of them behind.
Yeah, got M spot 1, 2 as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Matt, how will you celebrate tonight?
I'll shortly go into bed.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, M sport will be getting the champagne out tonight.
yeah.
Going to the pub.
But anyway, you deserve a good night's sleep.
Yeah, no, it's a bit of a long running evening. I think a few guys unfortunately didn't maximise their settings for graphics beforehand, so
Yeah.
It made it drag on a little bit because they had to go and tweak things, but got there in the end.
Yeah. Thank you very much for joining me, Matt. Next man that we have here is Mr. Simon Crane. Hello, Simon.
Run.
User
Getting
was
time
moved
for
to
anything
your
at the
channel.
moment. Hey, what's going on here?
User was moved out of your channel.
Yeah. Anyway, so Simon, you had the lead for a brief moment before
User was moved to your
before
channel.
swapping it with Matt. Did you find it a little bit frustrating?
User was moved out of your
A
channel.
little bit frustrating that you wasn't able to get the win today.
No, not at all. I mean, 1-2 Fem Sports always good. So then yeah, I think
User was moved out of your
Kevin's
channel.
probably gained the championship, but I'm not sure by how many points. Maybe a couple, but still got that points drop. So good team.
Were you improved when you after the half points drop? Were you possibly
User
returned
was
to
moved to your channel.
good form when you come to London?
I mean, yeah, I think I just need to get a bit more practice in. I think I changed some of the setup on before race 3, and that helped. I had more pace out of the car, so just bringing them across to the next race should be able to be in the championship hopefully.
Nice. So yeah, thank you very much for joining me, Simon.
User left your channel.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay. And that is basically the
User left your channel.
yeah, that is basically the end of the first half of the season. The next race will be which will be beginning of the half-season drop, which will begin in the capital of Great Britain, that is London. So thanks very much for joining me on this broadcast, basically for the live stream of the race. But though, please stay with us. But though for those who are wishing to stay here for the moment of time, we have the weather forecast coming up in a sec. But though, thank you very much for watching this BTCC live stream, and take care. Bye bye. Okay, we're just going to have a look at the weather for basically Saturday. Okay, so the weather at the moment is most likely going to be a cloudy day across the British Isles. The southeast will have a little bit of sunshine, otherwise some patches in Norwich and such. There'll be a little bit of a cloud around the southwest of Scotland and the southern parts of Wales, and also the Bristol Channel will also have a little bit of rain as well, including some parts of Northern Ireland. Top temperatures is 8 degrees in London with lows of 5 in Edinburgh. Later on into Saturday morning, the rain will gradually decrease. The sunshine will increase in some parts of the Midlands, and including the northwest and basically on Anglesey. The rain will also start to come in a little bit swiftly from the southwest, starting from Land's End on to the southwest of Wales. and a little bit and rain will also come into Northern Ireland as well. Top temperatures is 11 degrees in London with lows of 6 in Edinburgh. Into Saturday afternoon, the cloud will decrease. The weather will have a little bit of sunshine across most parts of England and most parts of Wales. The rain will appear in some parts of Northern Ireland, but everywhere else is mostly dry. Top temperatures is 18 degrees in London with lows of 8 in Edinburgh. That's the weather forecast. Winter time now, just gone half past 11. Just want to say thank you very much for watching this whole live stream tonight. And basically, we've got the Spreaker Web Radio live broadcast of the Formula 1 qualifying from Malaysia. Well, it can't be live actually because we have to do it basically a little bit. We can do the qualifying report after the race, but though if we can, then we can get the live stream of the race on both Spreaker and here on YouTube, but though only through listening, not through the visual. Okay, so thank you very much for joining me, and I shall see you soon. But until then, thank you very much for joining, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Good night. Master. And don't forget, if you want to keep yourself company throughout the night, there is obviously the 4 main radio stations from North Wales and North West. On 96.7 FM from Liverpool is Radio City. On 103.1 Point FM, the community radio from Rhyl. From Wrexham, more music variety on 96.3 FM, Heart Radio from the North Wales coast. And for Real Radio North West from Manchester is on 105.4 FM. And don't forget, if you're not interested in these, obviously Spreaker Web Radio is full of podcasts to help you through the night. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to turn your PC off, your monitor off, and the live stream off to save energy. Good night. I'll start.